Hello, and welcome back to Wisdom in Action, the podcast where we explore what it takes to bridge the gap between knowing and doing, because that's where the real wisdom is born. I'm Ostra Putninja, resilience coach and podcast strategist, and I created this space to have honest conversations with real experts and bring you practical insights you can apply, not just think about. Today, we're joined by Teon Singletary, leadership coach, purpose-driven mentor, podcast host, and 10 times #1 bestselling author, known as the Motivator of Excellence, who helps people clarify their purpose, strengthen their mindset, and turn vision into aligned action. Welcome to Wisdom in Action.
Hello, Oscar. I am excited, and it is a pleasing pleasure to be here with you today.
I wish we recorded our chat beforehand because that was fire in itself.
Right.
But here we are, so there's more fire to come.
Yes.
So the first question I have, what is one piece of wisdom that changed everything once you started applying it?
So many. My God, it got me thinking real back, far back. Wow. I think it's something simple that everyone thinks when we make the statement of like this small cliche that we say sometimes, and we really don't think about the meaning of it. But this one is when someone say, practice makes perfect, right? But when you dig into that a little bit more, it's like perfect practice makes perfect. Because if you don't practice the right way when it's time to perform, then guess what's going to happen? You're just going to default back to your normal behaviors. So, with that just wisdom, when someone just shared it with me, doing a coaching session that I had, with one of my coaches, I was like, wow. And when I started applying that thought process, that perspective, in my day-to-day habits, I saw a shift in thinking. I saw a shift in my attitude. I saw a shift in my actions. Because now I'm not just practicing just to practice, but I'm practicing in a way on how I want to perform when it really matters. And that's what counts. When the time really matters, how are you going to perform in those darkest moments or in the good moments? Doesn't matter. But how are you going to perform when it really matters the most? So I now live by the thought process of perfect practice makes perfect. And as you continue to practice, that practice turns to rehearsal. Because now you already built the skill. So now that you have built the skill, you're not practicing anymore. You are now rehearsing your craft, rehearsing the skills that you already developed over time.
Okay, there's so much to unpack here. I'm thinking, where should we start? I'm curious, what were those initial actions that you did to actually start practicing that perfect practice? Like, how did you start, or what were the initial steps? Because I think a lot of it is, okay, as a concept, makes sense. Sure, I should do it. I agree. But where do I start?
Yeah, that's a good question. So one of the areas that I was lacking. So I grew up, just to get a background story of, I come from a poverty mindset environment, where a scarcity mindset. So with that, my actions and my attitudes was based on that stinking thinking of a poverty mindset, of a scarcity mindset. But as I begin my self-development process, my personal development process, and finding coaches and mentors to help me in my weak spots, in my weak zones, I begin to develop from a poverty mindset to a growth mindset, from a scarcity mindset to an abundance mindset. And that took time. So, like, for instance, for a poverty mindset, I would be like, oh, I don't have the money for this. Oh, that's too expensive. No, I can't do that. But now I'm in the process of changing that thinking, right? More and more, because I came from a poverty mindset, that's still here. But now that I have the tools and techniques to help me to get away from that, now I changed that thinking to, I got no money here for this. I can do this. There's abundance of resources out there for me. I just gotta look for it. I can do this. right? So just changing that from a negative way of thinking to a positive way of thinking is how I'm going about doing things. Also, with that, a habit that I have implemented into my day-to-day life is self-talk, right? Saying those positive affirmations daily, every morning, every night, throughout the day. That way, it is shifting my way of thinking. It's shifting my thought process, right? So with that, just saying, I am brave, I am courageous, I am smart, I am intelligent, I have the resources that I want to have in order to do the things that I need to do.
Question
I have
here.
skill sets. Go
I
ahead.
have a question with this.
Uh-huh.
So what if you say all these things, and at the back of your mind, it's like, right, sure,
Yep,
nope.
yep, 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 right.
What do you do then?
Right. Like you have a angel on the right side and you have a
But
little devil
also
on the back on the left
add to
side.
this that on not only have that voice, but you have reality externally supporting that voice.
Yep. So it takes repetition, right? With any new skill that you're trying to build, any new habit you're trying to build, it takes repetition. Yes, you're going to have those naysayers. You're going to have your own self, your self-talk internally saying, what are you talking about? You can't do that. Have you ever did that before? Right? So, but you have to push yourself through it and continue to say, because soon, this is the thought process of how I do it. Is think, feel, do, have. The way we think is how we feel. The way we feel is what we do. And what we do is what we begin to have in our life. So it starts with the way how we think. If you continue to say the things that you want to think, sooner or later, you're going to start believing that. Sooner or later, you're going to start feeling that. And when you start feeling that, that little voice in the back is going to go away. Because now you feel what you're saying. But
I have
life
a
and death is in the power of the tongue. So you got to speak it.
Or like, I have very interesting kind of the opposite perspective that I can add to this.
Please.
Because I have tried to shout affirmations in the mirror. They don't always work for me. They haven't necessarily led to results I wanted at certain points.
Yeah.
But one thing that I have seen, and I do agree with what you're saying, because a lot of times we stop at that saying. What I have seen is that you don't have to believe it to do it. And I have example with this. Like, for example, like we discussed before this about my running. I didn't believe I can run half marathon. I didn't believe I can run marathon, but it didn't stop me from actually doing it, because what I do is what will bring those results. I still don't think I'm a runner, and I have run a marathon. and what I have seen is that a lot of times there's a delay in time of you taking different actions and you kind of upgrading your identity, where you're like, oh, this is me. And I think a lot of times we expect to feel certain way, but we haven't given enough time for things to manifest or to get those results, where even our mindsets adapts that, oh, this is a thing that I'm doing now. It's kind of the same as waiting to feel ready to do something you have never done.
Yeah. And I'm glad you say that, because that's a very important part. And I like to force to dissect this a little bit more, because I think that the feel and the do, like, it's interchangeable, right? And it all depends on the person, right? Because some person, like the way how people think, like for me, I am a thinker. I think, then I do most of the time. I don't, like, my feeling is not always there all the time, because of the way how I am, way how I'm wired. But I've trained myself to go in that route. But at first, when I first started, I think it, and then I do it. And I just continue to do it, fail, continue to do it, success. Oh, I got it, right? So I think the feel and the do is interchangeable, right? It depends on the person. It depends on the environment of what that person came from. Like, there's a lot in play there. There's a full ecosystem that's in play, right? So I'm glad you share that and I brought that to the table, because for the listeners, for everyone who's listening to this, they may be saying the same thing. Well, I don't always feel. I just do. And that's okay. That's you, right? Like, what I share with you is a way. It's not the way, but it's a way on how to be able to shift your way of thinking to go in the direction that you want to go. Yeah.
Yeah, and also like all this to say there isn't one way that works for everybody. All of this is
Right.
like you need to keep trying different
Yes.
approaches until you find something that works for you. It doesn't mean that you're
Yes.
failing. You're just one is you're finding what doesn't work.
Right. Right.
But also through that finding what doesn't work, you get an insight of,
Mm-hmm.
so if this, maybe I could change this.
Yep.
And you wouldn't have that if you didn't try it. The
That's
first
it.
thing that didn't work.
That's it. That's it. And with that, it's like you have a toolbox, right? The toolbox is empty. What does the toolbox need? Tools. So as you learn new things, you add that tool into your toolbox, and your toolbox continues to build, 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 build. So when you find yourself in a situation, you can dig into your toolbox to be able to pull the ingredients you need to start putting it in a pot and cook it up, right? So it's just one of those things that I have done over the years is that I see something, that looks interesting. That may work for what the issue that I'm having right now. I put it in my toolbox. And then when the time comes and I use it, it worked. Or when the time comes I use it, it didn't work. Throw away. Try something else. Right? So it's like we are always learning something new every single day when we have a learning spirit, when we have an open mind to different opportunities, innovative ways on how to grow ourselves to be the best version of ourselves. The question is, what can I do today in order so that I can be a better version of myself tomorrow, right? So putting those practices into play each and every day help us to get a little more closer to being the best version of ourselves.
Yeah, and it can be. I don't know how to talk anymore, and it can even be. It can even be to your example of the self-talk stuff. If you say I am brave, you can think, what is one brave thing I can do today? What is if you want to be kind towards yourself, what is one way how I can show kindness, how I can be kind? It doesn't have to be. There's like kind of two topics that I don't want to touch on. One is about all this extremism of like, for me to change my life, I have to like, with like the new year, I have to train like 7 hours a day, read 5 books a day, and work like 24 hours, and and I'm gonna be a new person, and all this stuff. But then also, I think I want to touch on it. It's the way I would describe it. What you were talking about is kind of that mindset of experimenting and being open-minded and trying things out. But at the same time, one thing that I see a lot, especially at the beginning of that growth journey, is that there's a lot of this black and white thinking. I need to find the way before I take the first step.
There's no the way.
And for the most part with that, I think what we try to do is we try to get that certainty that it can work, help, and all that. Because then with that mindset, also what comes is once you actually start to make steps, now you look back and you're like, but what if that one was the way? So you're actually not fully like committing to doing the action. The moment you start it, now you're kind of worried about like, what if that one was? And the third thing that I hear is, but what if this will be a waste of time and you haven't even started to do anything?
Yeah. You know, with that, it's like you just gotta find something and just something that you're passionate about and just do it. Do it afraid. You're gonna fail. You're gonna make mistakes. You made me look back like, dang it, maybe I shouldn't have done that. So what? So what? You learn something. And with that, with every action we take every day, the goal is to do reflection. Reflect over the things that you have done to see what worked, what didn't work, and then what can we improve on tomorrow, right? So I think one of the things that I've done every time I do something, I'm always reflecting because I've built that over the years. I started my personal development process in 2012 when I was overseas with the military. And I wrote some affirmations and I had a journal for the year of things that I want to change and things I wanted to become and the stuff that I was going to do. And I just wrote it. I left. I forgot about it. And the year came, I was actually doing those things that I written down. So what the powerful thing I want you to take out of this, everyone that's listening, is that like you have to write it down and make it plain. Like, if there's something that you want to change, one way that has helped me, again, this is my way, is not D way is A way. I have found that when I write things down or take notes of things in my notes in my phone, it helps me to internalize a little bit more. And then I begin to start taking the action that I need to take in order to get the things that I written down. It's like a vision board. I have a training, a course on vision boarding and how to create a vision board and why that's important, right? So I do this daily. Like I don't teach things that someone have taught me or some stuff that I read. I teach things that I actually do, and I do it daily, right? So when I write it down, I look at it. I say, okay, this is what I want to do. And then I begin to start taking action on it. And what I found in that process is that at first, I'm probably scared. I'm so afraid to take that action. But with one small baby step, it builds confidence. And as my confidence builds, my competence in that action builds. So it becomes a new habit. When it becomes a new habit, that's when I found the compound effect of my action. And that's when the results start coming in. And it doesn't happen overnight. Like the person who I am today it started since 2012, right? So it is a process, and everyone's process is different. Yours may be shorter or yours may be longer. I don't know. Only the universe knows, right?
And also, does it matter?
It doesn't matter. You just got to get started. You just have to say, that's it, draw a line in the sand, period, and get started. Just do something. Forward action, forward movement is better than backwards moving, right? So try to find something to move forward, which is what I try to do every single day. Yes, I may take 1-2 steps back sometimes. Okay, reflect. What did I do wrong? What caused me to do that? Okay, now just move that out of my life and let's move forward, right?
Yeah, that's
always
actually
have
a lesson.
Forward moving mindset.
And that's the thing. Even like with these like failures, it's. I have changed my mindset about failures because there was a time that I would be so afraid of failing or losing that if there was a chance that I could, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
And now I'm looking for ways, not necessarily how I can fail, not that I want to, like, let's go fail. It's more so like I have a good example. I would identify like some kind of fear or anxiousness about going and doing Pilates. Because I would be like, oh, like I'm like pretty like muscular. I'm not like this like petite person that like that's what Pilates body is, you know? And I was like, I was like, I don't think I'm ready yet. And then I'm like, well, there's one way to find out.
Do it.
So exactly. So I signed up to the class, and initially my friend was supposed to come with me, but she couldn't make it, which was perfect because then I had to be by myself, like I haven't been doing any like classes in general, so that's another layer of like and I went to, before the class I have to go to the teacher because it's in Estonian and I understand like English, I don't understand the language. I would have to go to the teacher and tell her that like, oh, like English, and that also is for me like I'm now like now I'm being a problem here in my mind. And then like also with that, now she's gonna see me this whole time because she knows I'm new. So she will see everything.
She got her eyes on. You are the one.
Exactly. And so that's what's happening. And this is literally like a month ago. And I went to her, I said about it, we started the class. And then like she has the mic, right? So in the middle of the class, she comes to me and she's like, she gave me like a mat and she's like, we use these mats for the class. I had taken different mat and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I didn't even notice which mat I had to take. And then as I go through the class, I'm like, it actually wasn't too bad. And I was able to follow along and all that. And I was dying, of course. My whole body was just like shaking the whole time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's only 20 minutes. There's 44, like 50 more minutes or whatever. I'm just like, I'm thinking like, what will be next? I don't even know what Pilates is. So I'm just like here, just being like,
Just
and then
go
what
on
ended
with
up,
the flow.
yeah. I'm just like, well, let's see. That's how I do discomfort. It's like, okay, let's jump in and see what happens.
Yeah.
At the very least, I will learn something about myself. And
yeah.
And what ended up happening is I went to her after the class and we had like little chat. She shared me the history of Pilates and now I'm literally like I'm checking every week where she has classes.
Really?
And I'm signing up
just
as
one
long
class.
as she's
just going to one class.
I'm going there's different classes, but I go with her as a trainer. Because I really like that she's very passionate about it. She pays attention to details and she will fix your like something that you're doing wrong. She will tell you about it.
Oh, nice.
Other experiences that I have had with different trainers, they just check that you do the right exercise kind of thing. But she has background with Pilates, so she's really paying attention to details. And I like go to her with like questions after the class as well. And she's very like supportive with like giving ideas and tips and all that.
Nice.
And that's one of the things that like it wouldn't have happened if I stuck to that belief of, oh, I'm not this or that. And actually on top of it all, after the second lesson, so fun fact, next day I signed up again and I was back again. And
more
I
pain,
went to her.
bring it on.
Let's go. And before the class, I saw her in changing rooms and I went to her like, oh, hey, like, just so you know, like English again. She's like, I know, I remember you. I'm like, okay. And then after that class, I went up to her again. We actually ended up like taking a selfie, a post that I shared about her and said people to go check her out. And she said to me that actually for somebody who is doing it for the first time, you're very good. I can see that you're smart. You pay attention to what I say and you do try to apply things that I'm saying. And I'm like, oh, thank you. And again, if I didn't sign up, if I didn't get out of comfort zone, even to go and have a conversation with her afterwards, I wouldn't have had these chances to go and get these tiny bits of information. And it also starts to build that relationship where I look forward to it. And I think last week, because I have been following her in like 5 different gyms to her classes.
I hope she don't say, is she a stalker here?
No, she actually came to me and she was like, I really appreciate you coming to the classes and kind of doing them and showing up.
Yeah.
But it's been a very interesting journey where like this whole thing that has been super amazing for me, it wouldn't have happened if I didn't take that first step of being like, I don't think blah, 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 and just sign up, show up, and just do the thing.
Wow. I'm writing down a note here with something that you said that caught my attention.
To start Pilates?
No, not that. No. I know you said comfort zone. And how many times we found ourselves in comfort zones, and then by being in those comfort zones, it handicaps us to be one way, and it stops our growth, our learning. So one thing that I try to do myself and I teach my mentees is that get out of your comfort zone. If there's something that you really love doing or you may be thinking, I don't know, do it. Right? Because getting out of your comfort zone helps you to grow yourself, to learn something new about yourself. And then it also help you to see the weaknesses that you may have that you may want to build on. All right. And the great times is when you see a strength about yourself that you didn't even know about until you got out of your comfort zone. And you would never have known until you get out of your comfort zone like you did. So I just applaud you for that, for jumping out. And I got a story like that too as well. Not about Pilates, no. But scuba diving. I wanted to scuba dive, and I never did it. I was like, you want me to go underwater with sharks, and they swim a lot faster than me.
Give me Pilates. I'm fine with you do your
No, I'm not doing that. But I had the opportunity when I went to Barcelona, Spain, with some friends. One of the activities that they was going to do was scuba dive. And I was like, uh-oh. So, but I did it
Oh
afraid.
no.
I did it afraid. I went there. But what really helped me was, please don't miss this. What really helped me was the instructors. They knew what they were doing. They was professional. They taught us all the techniques. They taught us all the hand signals. They taught us what to do when something happened. They taught us what to do to stay cool, calm, and collected under the water. So by their instructions, I felt more comfortable. And then them showing us the gear and how the gear worked, I was like, huh. I may come back out of this alive. Right. So I did it, and I did it afraid, and I tell you, man, it was like one of the best experiences I've ever experienced that year. And I needed that. I needed that confidence boost in that period of time in my life. So now every time I travel somewhere, one of the main things I look for is there a way how I can scuba dive? Like, can I scuba dive? Like when I was in Dubai a couple of weeks ago, I was going to scuba dive, but there's so much to do in Dubai. I was like, I can't do it this time. Maybe next time when I come here, I do it. But I already reached out to them. I was going to pay the money for it. I was going to do it and have that experience again because I now like scuba diving, right? I like snorkeling. I like doing all that stuff now. So it's pretty cool where when you get out of your comfort zone, and sometimes when you force to get out of your comfort zone, like I was, you find something new about yourself. So it's pretty cool.
I think that's the most beautiful thing about it because I had the same thing. Like, I have this concept of commit before you're ready. I signed up to my first half marathon, first half Ironman, was not ready at all. But I did it, and then it's like, okay, now you have whatever amount of months, go figure it out.
Yep.
And somehow I did. But if I allowed my thoughts or beliefs or whatever hold me back, I would be like, oh, I think I need more time. I think I need to do this.
Yeah.
Did I have my best performance? Did I set like records? Well, it was my record because it was my first time. But on like grand scheme of things, no records. But that wasn't the point. The point was that mental game of overcoming, exploring, learning. And I'm really glad you shared about the instructors because that was kind of where I wanted to go with getting out of comfort zone, which was about like what supports that. Like few things that I wrote down that we could explore is support system, like what is the actual support, but also with that safe space to both explore, which could be those instructors, but also the safe place to fail or go to after you fail, where you can have that support of navigating that kind of comeback from whatever was the failure, and then also the accountability. As like those are a few things that came in my mind as something that could help with that, because I know that for me, when I would be more so in kind of in isolation, or I wouldn't have that like strong support system or some kind of accountability that I would create, whether superficially or just like, you have people in my life that would keep me accountable. It's way harder to get out of the comfort zone because then you're so much in your mind, you overthink everything, and it's very easy not to do it.
Yeah. I'm over here writing down and thinking what everything you just shared, because everything you just shared is all the things that I will say or think about when it comes down to getting out of your comfort zone. But also, what helps you to get out of your comfort zone is changing your way of thinking about comfort zone itself. Like, what is comfort zone, right? And me being a logical thinker, that's what I had to do. I had to, okay, comfort zone, what is that? Why do I need to get out of my comfort zone? I'm happy here.
Yeah, walk us through it.
I feel good here. Why do I need to move? No, I don't want that. Right? With me being a high C in disc, or with disc personality, I'm always about the details, the task at hand. How can I truly be effective in this right now? Give me all the details. I want to know everything. I'm not going to move until you tell me everything. Like, that's my personality, right?
Yeah.
And so with that, I want to stay in my comfort zones all the time. But I have to force myself to get out of my comfort zone. And how I did that was I asked the question, what is comfort zone? What is this? Comfort zone is where you are comfortable where you are, And most times you become complacent in that zone. So if you truly want to grow yourself, I had to reframe my thinking about, I want to grow. So how can I truly effectively grow myself? And the answer was clear, very clear. Get out of your comfort zone, right? So with me, that helped me to say, okay, all right, I need to get out of my comfort zone. Okay, let me do this. I don't want it. I do not like it at all. However, it's going to help me grow. So me being a logical thinker, that helped me to just do it and do it afraid. I don't have all the details, which I want all the details. All I know is I want all the details. But I'm learning to be spontaneous sometimes. I'm learning to not have all the details. And by me just making that one change in my life, and I started that, I think, a year or two ago. I started that 2 years ago. Getting out of my comfort zone, really, and being spontaneous. Because my comfort zone is knowing all the details. When I start being spontaneous, I find out that there's so much hidden gems. Just being spontaneous sometimes. Like when I go visit a place, I don't have all the plan. Just start somewhere and it just flow. and the excitement that I get from just adventuring and just exploring is just wow. Like who would have known a high C like me would enjoy not knowing what I'm gonna do next. Right? But with that, it taught me to just be okay with being out of my comfort zone and be okay with not knowing every day or not knowing all the details. And with me in business, that has helped me tremendously, right? Because now I don't know all the details with this contract. However, I can talk to my client and say, okay, and ask some particular questions that can help with that. And by me not knowing and me asking those questions, now I'm being curious. And now that I'm being curious, I'm asking those questions. By me asking those questions, I'm building a relationship, a long-term relationship. So it has tremendously helped me out with how I deal with my clients, being in my feelings a little bit to be able to build that relationship, because I could be by myself all day long and be okay, because that's my personality, again. However, I am in the people business. So I had to taught myself and learn that, okay, I need to build relationships. Relationship is very important. How can I improve in that? So every day I'm always learning how to ask a simple question to a stranger sometime. I'm just saying hello. Because I don't have to say hello. But I'm learning how to say hello, just how you doing? Because that's teaching me to be friendly, and it's teaching me to open up my heart and my mind to different ideas and thoughts.
I love that, and I love I think it's also important to point out that getting out of comfort zone is like a muscle. You build it
Yeah,
up.
that's it.
And with
Yeah.
that, I wanted to ask you, like, how was the initial process of you getting more spontaneous?
Oh my God. I was terrified. I was like, I was nervous, always looking at the clock, always looking at, okay, what, okay, when is this going to be over? It was tough for me because I am a person that always have every day written down, or always have every day in my calendar. And that's how I run my life. That's how I run my businesses. So always trying to have control of things, I saw that it was a problem. So, to get out of that, I get out of that thinking again. I say, okay, the best way to get out of this is just be spontaneous. And I started doing that. But initially it was tough. It was tough for me. But over time, as I did it and I went through it and I found the happy moments, those special moments, those priceless moments, I was like, oh,
Light bulb.
this is it. Okay, I'm gonna do more of this now. So now I'm excited to do it now, even though I don't have to, but I'm excited to be spontaneous sometimes now.
Do you know what kept you going until you started to have those exciting moments?
Yeah, that's it. Those exciting moments is what kept me going with that.
But until you got them, what kept you going when you were like,
Again,
I don't want to do
yeah,
this?
right. Me being a logical thinker, before I got started with those actions, I had to ask myself particular questions to change my thinking about it. Because me being a logical thinker, I'm thinking about things a certain way. And me knowing myself, I have to program my mind to think a certain way in order to continue to do it. And I also have a mantra whereas once I start something, I'm not going to give up. Never give up, never give in, continue to fight until you win. So once I start something, my goal is to continue to do it until I find the answer or until I reach the finish line. And sometimes there's no finish line, so I just continue to go, right? So it's pretty cool with me understanding who I am and whose I am, and knowing my weaknesses and my strengths and my personality. I'm able to program my way of thinking to go in the direction that I really need to go or the direction that I want to go. Yeah.
I also wanted to touch on the consistency. For several reasons, but it's one of the main reasons is that like with consistency, you'll actually start to get results. But also
Yeah.
I have seen that, I know in my life, or I think it was last year, I heard this one person talk about how the life you have right now is a result of decisions you made like 1-2 years ago.
Yep.
But a lot of times when it comes to consistency and changing, like initially changing life, it's like, I want different life like yesterday. And then if we don't have it within a month, then it's like, oh, this is not for me. Or, like I give up, like this is not working.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then we go through these like start, stop
Yeah.
the whole time, which is exhausting, but also
Yeah.
it's really frustrating because you are trying,
Yeah.
but then you stop and you fall back. And sometimes you fall back even further. Then you try again and you fall back. And it starts to become this kind of continuous chase with no real progress.
Mm.
And it's also, especially I know that at the beginning, even if it's sometimes literally 6 to 24 months of you do the thing, no results. You keep doing it, still no results. It's been 3 months, it's been 6 months, still no results. Why would I keep going and doing this thing? How to actually trust the process? This doesn't make sense. Like, what would be your input or thoughts or advice when it comes to that consistency? Like once you start to see results, it's way easier because then it clicks. But until you start to see it, it's very tough.
Yeah, it is. It is. So I have a 5-step process that I have created for myself, and now I have it as a course on my online university. And it's called Dominate Your Life. And everything you shared a while ago is like, it's part of those steps. The first, and I'm gonna show you these 5 steps with everyone here just to say I love you, right? And I want to see you succeed in life. The first step is awareness. You have to know where you are. And you gotta know who you are. You gotta know where you want to go. So in order to go anywhere, you first gotta have awareness of where you are now. Now the next question is, where do I want to be? Okay, now you have where you are and where you want to be. The good part is, the fun part is what you're going to do in the middle, because that's the gap. So what are the small milestones you're going to take to get there? That's when step 2 comes in place, preparation. So what are the things I need to do to prepare myself to become the person I want to become in the future, or to reach this end goal that I have set for myself? Keep that in mind, a goal that you set for yourself. We're going to come back to that. So you have a preparation and you start taking those small actions daily, or whatever you decide to do. And yes, you can get weary and well doing, right? But that's when consistency comes into play, right? And that's when we move to the next step. You have awareness, you have preparation, but then you have to also believe in yourself, believe in who you are, and believe in your purpose. Believe in your vision, because without vision, the people perish. So once you have a clear vision of why you're doing what you're doing, whenever you fall down to those hard, tough spots, you are going to fight through it because the vision is clear. You know where you want to go. You know where you want to be. So awareness, preparation, believe in yourself. The next one, you said this, and that's you have to trust the process. You have to follow the process. I know some of you that's hard to do. For me, sometimes it's hard to do. But I have learned over time that when you trust the process, the word trust is very important, right? You have to fully commit. And when you fully commit, you go back to what we share about the goals, setting those small baby step goals and consistency. When you trust it, sooner or later, You're going to see the results, but you have to trust it first. You have to trust it first. You have to trust it first. And then the fifth one is very simple. And that is, the fifth step is you have to just take action now. Right? And continue to take action. So when you do all those 5 things every single day, it help you. It's like your support team. Awareness, preparation, believe in yourself, trust the process, take action now. It helps you to stay focused on your vision that you have for yourself, on your mission. Because it is a mission. And you got to do what I have on the wall here. You got to have the tenacity of a lion and a lioness to get after it. Because no one's going to get you where you want to go. It takes, you got to do it. You have to put into action. And yes, again, consistency is very hard. But with consistency, if you understand the meaning of consistency and what happens with that is that you get a compound effect. When you do something over and over, like you have a filter or a funnel, it doesn't matter, a pipe. And let's do that. Let's say you have a long pipe or something and you get cotton balls. You put cotton balls in the middle. The cotton ball is going to stay where it's at, where you put it in. But as you continue to add and you continue to put a cotton ball in it, sooner or later, you're going to start seeing cotton balls falling out on the bottom. That's consistency in work. That's the compound effect. So as you continue to push something down your pipeline, sooner or later, it got nowhere else to go. The only way it's going to do is it's going to come out somewhere, right? Right? So why not it comes out in where you want it to come out too? Because either you do this or you do the negative way, you just do the bad habits.
Yeah, you're consistent
in
something else.
Do that consistently. So now those bad habits compound itself, and that's why you're having the issues that you're having in your life, because the compound effect is in work. So you have to flip your script. You have to change it from this is the bad habit, let's change that bad habit to a good habit. And then sooner or later, that good habit start getting those compound effect. And the bad habit, you starve it. You want to starve the bad habit and you want to feed the good habit. So when you have that understanding of the process and why you are where you are right now, you begin to have a deeper feeling in your core. Okay, I gotta do it. And with that drive, with that inspiration, that motivation, you will be more willing to stay consistent. But again, it's not easy. And I'm not going to tell you, I'm not going to lie to your face and say it's easy, because it's not. However, if you have people like you shared earlier, an accountability partner, find somebody that's going in the same direction that you're going, that have the same mindset that you have, and ask them, hey, this is a new thing I'm trying to do, and I'm trying to do consistently. Can you help me to make sure that I stay on track? Right? That's it. And if they are a good friend, guess what they're going to do? They're going to say, yes, I got your back. If they're not a good friend, then, you need to switch friends. Right? But
advise how to test your friends.
No. I didn't do that. I didn't tell you to do that. But it is a good test, right? But again, with that, it helps you to be able to be consistent. And the great thing about being consistent is the more you do it, the easier it gets. And don't try to do something that's huge to be consistent with. Find something very small. Like when I first started reading, I started reading 5 minutes a day. Not 5 pages, 10 pages, because I couldn't do that. So I did 5 minutes, 10 minutes a day, I read. And as I begin to grow, I build that. And now that I do audiobooks, I can read an audiobook depending on how long it is in a day. Because I listen to it 2 times the speed and I get it. And then I listen to it again sometimes. Just if there's certain parts that I want to make sure I grasp, I listen to it again. So but for me to get there, it took consistency of me reading it 5 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day, 30 minutes a day, and to continue to build and build and build over time. So start something small, whatever it is, start very small, because it's very important, because you got to build that habit. You got to build that skill set. So start very small, and as you build, you grow yourself, and then you'll see that things comes easy. Like for you when you're swimming, right? Like if at first it was very hard, you doing the things that you do, you running the marathons. At first we did, it was like, nah, I don't like this, right? But as you continue to do it over and over and over, you grow a love for it, right? And when you grow a love for it, a passion for it, you are willing to go through the struggle. You are willing to go through the pain. You are willing to go through whatever it is to say, okay, I did it. Yes, the best feeling you
And
have
you
is
also
that I
find
did it.
meaning in it. You also find meaning in it with that time, like
Yeah.
as you go through it. Because I don't love cold swims; they're cold. It doesn't feel good as I'm doing it. Sometimes I'm like, as I'm approaching the water, I'm like, why do I have to do this?
This is so crazy.
But that's
Why
the
don't I do
thing.
this
Like,
thing?
I can be super consistent, and it's still that like it doesn't feel that the longer you do it, the easier it gets. But now there's no question if I'm getting in or not. I'm getting in. I'm getting it done. I don't like the feeling as I'm doing it. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I love the feeling afterwards, and I feel this accomplishment, and I'm like, hell yeah!
Let's do this again.
But as I'm going there, the whole time there, I'm like, why?
Why? Contemplating your life's decisions.
Yeah, it's like, why can't I just be home in warmth and just like not do it? But yeah, this is what a note to finish up on. Like, this is very, very powerful. Before I ask you the last question, where can people connect with you, learn about you, and what you do?
Yes, they can go to my website, www.teonsingletary.com. That is www.teonsingletary.com. You like the song there? I took consistency for me to get that. Right? And then if you want to email me.
What was it? The perfect practice.
Exactly. And then if you want to email me, you can email me at bless@teonsingletary.com. That's BLES @teonsingletary.com if you want to email me. Facebook, Instagram at Teon Singletary. I try to keep things very simple, stupid.
Yep. That's the way to be. We will have it in show notes as well. Last question I have for you. What is one piece of wisdom you're still learning to live?
One piece of wisdom that I'm still learning towards. So many. And I say that because I just completed my reflection time, and I have so much notes and stuff that I written down. So it's like, I guess that would be my piece of wisdom that I'm still going towards. I'm still growing towards, and that is reflection. Reflection is so important, and having gratitude, being grateful for what you have now, because it could be so much worse, right? So much worse. So just being grateful for what you have, and then just reflecting over your life every single day. It keeps you humble, because with that reflection, it reminds you of where you were. And now you think about where you are now. You're like, wow. For me, I'm like, wow. I do not deserve this. I should not be where I'm at right now. Like, why me? Like, how did I get here, in a sense, right? But just being grateful, so that what that does, it helps me to just stay humble. It helps me to be in the right frame of mind when I'm talking to folks, when I'm talking to my clients, just to know that, yes, I did this, but I didn't do it alone. There's a higher power at work, a higher power that has guided me and governed my actions, so that I can have what I have. So reflecting helps me to stay humble. Reflecting helps me to continue to grow and have that learning spirit, because one of my mentors said that when you stop learning, you stop growing, that's when you die, right? And I don't want to die no time soon. So I want to continue to learn. I want to continue to grow. And so with the reflection, I must say that I think that was the number one thing that helped me to pivot in my life when I was in the darkest darkness of my life, when my birthdays were my worst days, like when things were just tough. Nothing was going my way. Everything was negative, right? What helped me to move from there is reflecting and writing journals and just getting it out there and then finding that awareness of where I'm at and then the awareness of where I want to go. And now the simple thing I had to do was to create me a growth plan. I had to prepare myself. So my growth plan changes every year, but it comes from my reflecting. Again, reflection. Like everything for me right now where I'm at in my life, it boils down back and it points back to reflection. So I would say that is the best advice that was given to me that I begin to apply, and that has truly changed my life. And if I want you to change your life too, I will encourage you, I will employ you to reflect more. One thing that most people don't do in this world is think. And we think it's only 1%. So what happens if you think more and you use more than that 1%? The things that could come about from that one small change in your life is tremendous. This world would be such a better place. The inventions that would come out of us just thinking more will be, man, that really hit me in the heart a little bit. but
Yeah.
it's because that's my true essence. It's my passion, right? And it was something that has been built over time for me. And if I truly want people to move forward in their life, because that is my calling, is to add value to folks so that they can be the best version of themselves. Reflect. Begin to start reflecting. Like put time in your day or on your calendar to just think. Don't worry about social media. Don't worry about your likes and your shares and all that, your follows. Just take some time, 5 minutes, again, the special number 5, and just think. Just think for 5 minutes. Find some time to meditate. Or find an activity that keeps you calm. Or put you in that spirit of thinking or just meditating. And do that activity. For me, golf is one of the things that I do now. That help me to forget about the world and just be in that zone and just think, reflect. And sometimes while I'm walking to the next hole or I'm walking to the green, I'm like, oh, I gotta do that. I forgot about that. So it's the one activity that I do every now and then just to get me in that space. So I would encourage you to find that space for you to help you to think, to help you to reflect, because it will, I guarantee you, with no doubt in my mind, change your life for the best.
I love it. And I agree 100%. Like it's very, very powerful. All right, Teon, thank you for coming on. Thank you for sharing your wisdom. I have plenty of notes myself, and I'm sure I'm not the only one here. And to all of the listeners, if you're an expert with 20 plus years of experience and you want to come on and share your wisdom, there will be details below how you can apply. And if you're somebody who wants to start a podcast, need help with producing or growing your podcast, there will be details below as well. Thank you for tuning in, and we will see you in the next episode.